Welcome to Jenkins and Jonez on the Volume Podcast Network. It's Thursday, May 27th, and we've got a buttload of playoff stuff to talk to you about today. We're so excited. It's going to be a great episode. As always, Jenkins and Jonez is hosted by my buddies, LeJethro Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What do I say?
and Dragonfly Jones, a.k.a. Tyler.
Right. What's up, Bubba?
Little guys.
Hey, listen, y'all. We love you guys. We're recording this late Wednesday night, very late Wednesday night after all the games are over. We want to be able to talk about every series, but I'm going to keep it real with you. We're tired as fuck. John moved today. Right. I covered like 3 games today. Tyler's eyes still all fucked up from allergies. So we're playing hurt because it's the fucking playoffs.
Right. Play it through pain.
This is our flu game.
Right.
Yeah.
We're all right now. You feel me?
Let's start with the funniest thing going on. The Mavericks are up 2-0 on the San Bernardino Clippers.
San Bernardino Clippers.
Gentlemen, your thoughts.
Ooh, but, I mean, it's like I said earlier today. It's like I feel like we're all at the point now where we don't even want to fully clown the Clippers now because we know it's only going to get funnier. Like that's what they are right now. They're just a fucking laughing stock. And I'm just perplexed at how after Luka gave them hell last postseason, right? Gave them a 42-point game, a 43-point game, a 38-point game, a game winner. They tanked and were like, yeah, give us that guy again. And they got that motherfucker again, and they got all of that motherfucker again. And now they're down 0-2, and you telling me you got to beat Luka 4 out of 5 times, 3 times in Dallas to keep your season alive. I don't see it happening, bro. Major
sub vibes from the Clippers. You know what I mean? Just is this their thing? Like, what was it about Luka? They're like, yeah, we want more of that. Give us 39 again, bro.
Bro, he is cooking the fuck out of their ass. They have 3 of the best guard defenders in the fucking league, and he does whatever the hell he wants. And it wasn't like the Clippers played horrible. Like, Kawhi was incredible. PG was not the pandemic P we're used to. And you know what I'm saying? And they still beat them boys. You feel me? Like, they chose their fate. They chose their fate, and he's cooking their ass. And what I love about this is it's not just Luka. Like, all these young bucks, we just saw Ja, all these young bucks, the league is in great hands right now, bro. Like, we're seeing these young dudes that we thought were guys that are proving they're fucking guys. Not afraid of no fucking moments and are stepping up and dogging motherfuckers. You know, I love it.
Luka, Ja, Trey, and they're all talking big shit. They're all ready for the moment.
They dragging their nuts all through these games and letting you know exactly what time it is. And that's exactly what we need. Big shit, big games, you know what I'm saying? For the, big moments. I love it.
On the Mavs Clippers series, it's remarkable to me that the Clippers and Ty Lue have not done something majorly different in terms of defending Luka, because he just sits there and hunts for the switch for a Pat Bev onto him like he's casually flipping through magazines. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like, no,
it's like,
nope, that's the one.
Right. It's like when PG and Kawhi paired up, we were like, what the fuck are teams going to do on the perimeter against the Clippers? And they answered whatever the fuck they want, basically, right? Because, I mean, I get it's the playoffs. You don't want to burn, your 2 top scorers on both ends and have them, exerting their ass off on defense and offense. But, bro, you had to put Kawhi or PG on Luka for these next few games. You have no other fucking choice now.
You have to set aside, and I understand how NBA defenses work. You have to set aside the switch everything. Everything's about fearing the pick and roll. Like, you have to turn the water faucet off. It's flooding the house. He scored 39 points in game 2 in your house when you knew he was going to come in and try and score 40. And now you're down 2-0. And Paul George somehow had the fucking nerve to say, like, the pressure's on them. Now they've got to go try and keep it up in their house. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He's the most unaware. I think he just doesn't get it, bro. He doesn't get things, man.
He just refuses to give anyone credit. That's what his whole shit is. He refuses to give anyone credit to the point that he lies blatantly to our faces. That's the type of guy PG is.
It was a bad shot, bitch. He just ended the series on your ass. It was a bad shot, bitch. Everybody should be taking bad shots in. We talk about that. What do you mean? That dude is so weird.
I will say the one thing we also have to really acknowledge about Luka is Luka has our exact understanding of the National Basketball Association. Regular season, I'm not going, bro.
Ain't with it.
Playoffs started. Let me pour gas on myself and light myself on fire before every game.
Dude, Luka, I mean, we knew he was good, but he's better. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he seems to keep finding that other switch. You know what I mean? And I mean,
I think he really hates the Clippers. I really think that it looks personal between him and Pat Bev. You know what I mean?
About the gate talking shit like 4 minutes into the series.
4 minutes into the series, you're too small.
Yeah.
No. You're too fucking small,
small.
bro. Too fucking. He looked dead at the man. He looked dead at an NBA player 4 minutes into a series and told that nigga, you're too fucking small, and has been proving it for the last 2 games. Bro, you know what I mean? Bro.
You know how intentional your shit talking has to be to do your shit talking in the second person, for one, because a lot of guys would have said, he's too small, they're too small. No. But he looked that man in his face, said, you're too small. And he said it in his non-native language, bro. Right? Like he didn't roll out some Slovenian shit. He rolled that shit out in English. He said you. He wanted Pat Bev to know, I am talking to you, motherfucker.
But Pat Bev is in the league to play defense. This is his job. And he has put Pat Bev in hell for 2 games straight. It's crazy.
But let me tell you something about people from Slovenia. They don't want to come to America and hear the I'm a scrappy underdog shit from a Pat Beverley, bro. They're not interested in that narrative. Talk to someone from a war-torn country about poverty in America, and they will bite your fucking mouth off your face, bro. It's like, oh, you got it out the mud, Pat Beverley?
Right. And he did whatever. But bro, Luka ain't going for it. He is cooking that man. Pat Bev is a defender, and he is food. He's been food for 2 fucking games, bro.
Let's talk about the series that I think we're all breathing a big sigh of relief about. The Lakers came back 109-102 to tie it up with the Suns at 1-1. I feel like we saw everything we were looking to see in game 2. Bron engaged when he needed to be. AD with a great bounce back game. Schroeder not looking like a liability.
He was good last game, though. He was good last game. Schroeder had a decent game game 1.
But this was what we're looking to, like, positive impacts from multiple people, especially with Bron and AD. And I think all 3 of us were really genuinely touched by that clip. I think Logan might have been the first to put it up, of Bron chasing down KCP after he'd passed up a wide open look and telling him, I want you to fucking shoot the ball.
Love that for multiple reasons. For one, I love to see when someone tells someone, believe in yourself the way I believe in you. Like, right? I love seeing shit like that. I think that's great leadership there. I also love it because, like I've always said, LeBron is a player system. Like when LeBron comes to your team, you're going to play basketball in his image. You're going to space the floor. You're going to know your spots. You're going to commit to both sides of the ball. You're going to, commit to ball movement, and you're going to commit to when you get open looks, you hit that motherfucker, you let it fly, right? Because it's of course hitting the shot is the optimal result here, but you have to let it fly because you want to keep defenses honest, right? Like it's the same type of shit where, there's a fundamental football philosophy, commit to the run all the time, commit to the run to keep defenses honest. And it's kind of the same shit with Bron, where he wants, you to commit to spacing and shooting when you get an open look, because that, creates better spacing and stretches the defense out. So,
and I think,
I thought that was twofold. He was building his guy up and also believe in yourself and believe in our system.
Because I think KCP passed it over. He sort of hesitated, and I think he passed it over to West.
He was struggling, and that's why
you know exactly what Bron is thinking is we might be able to beat the Suns without you. But if we're playing the Clippers in the next round, we're playing the Clippers at some point. We're playing a team that's better than the Suns. You're going to chuck that thing over to West, and the play's over. We're not going to get a shot off there. You know what I mean? That he's thinking about that. I need to get you going here so that in the next round or in the Western Conference Finals, we don't have to waste a game doing that. And that's so next level in terms of the way he sees. Tyler, you've always said he's a player system. He's like a front office guy too, though, in that way. He's thinking about all of that shit in the middle of game 2 on the road. Down 1-0.
He's never fooled himself into believing he didn't need his teammates. His philosophy was like he always knew he needed his teammates to play solid for them to win. You know what I mean? And I think I get why people love like Kobe and MJ, where they really felt like they could go 1 on 100 and win. You know what I mean? But Bron never fooled himself into believing that. And they needed guys too. You know what I'm saying? They just didn't think they did. They had, you know what I'm saying? But Bron never fooled himself into believing that. And I love to see that. Like he's going to who the fuck else can put that into KCP? I mean, that's the epitome of Bron's philosophy when it comes to basketball. You know what I'm saying? But who the fuck else can go to KCP and tell him, I need you to fucking shoot that. He
skipped over to him like he was about to square up with him.
Bro, he as soon as the play ended, he ran straight to KCP. And dude, for the GOAT to tell you that, who else is going to make you feel that way, bro? And KCP was solid as fuck in the last postseason. You know what I'm saying? He came up big, and Bron knows this. He never, Jordan, Paxson and Kerr hit big shots, but Jordan didn't think he needed Paxson and Kerr to hit those big shots. Bron knows he needs KCP and the others to do their shit too. You feel me? And I thought it was just so beautiful how he ran up to that man and was like, yo, I want you to take that shot. You know what I'm saying? And we saw KCP loved that. I mean, it's a different type of leadership.
He posted about it all day on his Instagram.
It's a different type of leadership. And I think, like I said, I get why people love those guys that are just fucking, I can take on the world and everything. But like, I love seeing LeBron, know that he needs his team and supporting his team in that way, in these moments where like he didn't need them, like you said, in that moment, but he would need him in the next series for sure.
Let's talk about the game we just watched. The Jazz earned the split with the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies won game 1. The Jazz came back. Very impressive game 2. Scored 141 points.
Jesus Christ.
Won 141 to 129, despite Ja dropping 47 points in his second game.
2K shit.
Second playoff game of his career. I refuse to say nice things about Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
But Donovan Mitchell was back, and the Gogurt did have a good game as well. Very impressive bounce back, I thought, from the Jazz. But what do you guys think? You think this is going to be a series, or you think the Jazz are sort of like, all right, you caught us sleeping a little bit, and now we're here running off with it?
Well, Mitchell coming back might change things a bit. But those Memphis kids, man, they ain't scared of shit. They are not, they are not just happy to be here, bro. They are out there competing, legitimately competing. And for Ja to just, for a guy whose whole game revolves around, getting in the paint and slashing and doing this against the team with the best rim protector in the league, right? Like, and he's just spazzing. It's him and Luka so far in this very young postseason as like the two best guys so far. He's just been putting on a ridiculous performance.
I made a statement that, I would love, when they beat the Warriors, that, it would be good to see Ja in the playoffs. And I was like, but I think we've already seen playoff Ja. All 3 games, he's been a fucking monster. And in the biggest moments when it matters, like, you know what I'm saying? He's just not scared of shit. And he's just so impressive.
So by NBA stat keeping, the play-in game wasn't the playoffs, which I still think is stupid. Yeah. But anyway, so if you just count the first 2 games against the Jazz, he has more points in his first 2 games in the playoffs than anyone since the merger. That's crazy. Yeah, and I believe it, because both games, it was like you could just tell anytime they were struggling, he just was methodical.
What is funny is like these playing games were to get Zion in. We've talked about that, right?
Right.
It got Ja in, and Ja is taking full advantage.
And everyone was whining about, it knocked the Warriors out. We could have had Steph going against the Jazz.
We all were thinking that.
I feel pretty good about this.
But hey, I don't give a goddamn. Steph, I hope you enjoy playing golf somewhere, buddy. You know what I mean? We're getting hella good basketball right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at with it. Also, huge today, the Knicks got a win in front of another great crowd in the Garden. They beat the Hawks 101-92. I think this was the defensive game that Tibbs wanted us to see from the Knicks. D Rose, very emotional night, 26 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists to help even that series. This was Trey killing him at the end of game 1 was cool. But this was what I wanted from the Knicks being in the playoffs. And then everyone acting like, dumb, idiotic people, fucking
sports fans, acting like sports fans.
Paisanos
to the streets.
Specifically acting very stupid in an Italian way on the streets after this game.
Trey's still cold to me, bro. Trey's still so cold to me.
Oh, yeah.
Trey had another great game. I think it was like 11 for like 21 or some shit with 30 again. Like, Trey's still a dog, bro. You know what I mean? And in those first 2 quarters, I thought it might get ugly the way he was just, killing their ass. But and they pulled it off. Like you said, the culture needed that shit. You know what I mean? We needed New York to get a W. They could go out here, battle for 4th, and get swept. You know what I mean? In front of an actual crowd. That's some bullshit.
Yeah. But it's kind of like we discussed on the other episode. Like they took to the streets and flooded that shit and were celebrating like they won the championship tonight. Celebrate every fucking thing, bro. Fuck that. Right. Act like you've been there before. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate every fucking thing, and good for them.
12 months ago, they had to close the streets of that fucking city to make room for all the ambulances, bro. Like, go crazy. You know what I mean? Like an asteroid can hit the planet tomorrow. Like, go nuts. Enjoy beating the Hawks.
Right.
Even though Trey looked dead at the camera and said, "We already got the split."
Right.
It's already home court us.
See y'all in the A. So much shit talking. Shit talking. This is beautiful. You know what I mean? I love it.
I'm very excited if you told me I could only watch one other series that wasn't the Lakers series, that would be the one. Mm-hmm. I mean, because the Clippers one, it'll be nice to get the jokes off, but that Hawks, I mean, that's going to be that might turn into some really epic shit, bro. Because the crowds in Atlanta are going to be crazy too.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Gucci Man gonna be cussing everybody out. He might pull a burner out at halftime, right? Scoochie. One thing I want to say about Bron too. We were talking, we off of that, but like we know Bron's hurt right now. We know he's not 100%.
I was gonna ask you about that. Yeah,
I have never been more proud of Bron. I'll say that. I mean, 2016 obviously was like the peak of Bron, right? But I almost got emotional watching him play. Like, Bron can't. You see when he's going to the bucket, he'll pull back. He's not trying to get any contact. You know, like he'll turn a corner and it might be a bunch of people in the paint. He's like, nah. He'll shoot the fadeaway or whatever. Like, he's making decisions differently. But he's doing exactly what he can
at a really high rate. He's doing the drive and kick. He's doing
for sure.
The drive. I'm going to pull up, land on the good foot, and whip it cross court. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's move one right now. That's move one right now.
Right. But it's been watching him play, and I've been approaching it like when they got within one or whatever, they went up one. I was like, we're good. You can see Bron. He's approaching it in a. Bron's always been cerebral. But this game was like how he's approaching it now. I think we're really seeing his IQ. He's really picking his spots, very carefully, very smart. Because he knows they need him to be healthy, later on. For another month. So he can't be out here being reckless, like going ham, pressing the button whenever. But when we needed him, he was right there for us. And I thought that was a different Bron than I've seen. Because he was really quiet during big moments. We talked about that. It was almost spooky how quiet he was during big moments when they were making that run, and fucking Cam Johnson was guarding him. You know what I mean? Campaign was going crazy. And we was like, what the fuck's going on? But like you saw, like, hey, he has to pick his spots a little differently this postseason. and he was effective as hell.
Tyler, longtime Braun watcher, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was gonna say, late in the game, where I was stressing a little bit, but then I was like, Braun got this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of where I'm at now because, there was a time where it was like knotted up at like 86, like, late in the third. And I was like, pretty confident. I was like, this is a game that the Lakers can win because, if it was going to be a battle of like 120, 125, that was not a game of speed that I would have liked seeing these Lakers in. But I knew that this was going to be a grinded out. They were going to, fucking just slowly choke Phoenix out on the defensive end. And AD absolutely stepped up to that challenge and went nuts late in the game on the defensive end. So it kind of felt like, AD and Bron both kind of hit the button late in that game. And that was pretty encouraging to see if you're rooting for the Lakers here.
We were all talking about how trash AD's jumper was. You know what I mean? And then in the big moments, right? I mean, almost right after we said, like, he needs to stop shooting, he hit some really big shots.
Well, he played, but you know what? He played hard. I mean, it is. I mentioned to you guys with him, it just drives me crazy. It's like he's either looks like an all-time great, or he's like, I don't got it tonight. And it's like, just go, like, stop letting DeAndre Ayton stop letting him get rebounds over you, dog. Like,
DeAndre is eating, bro. I mean, he's cleaning up he was like 12 for 12 because everything he shot was a quarter of an inch from the fucking rim, bro. You know what I mean? He was cleaning up the boards, man. Crazy. But I mean, we got to give it to like CP. You know what I mean? Like how he was. The way he's playing too, with like I doubt he even feels his fucking fingertips. You know what I mean?
You could take the lead out of a pencil and put that right through the pad in his finger.
And he wouldn't flinch. He wouldn't flinch. You know what I'm saying?
That nerve is all fucked up.
You feel me? And he's doing what he can too. And I mean, I know you said he did a dirty play, and I disagreed. I don't know if it was necessarily dirty, but I mean, to see him out there fighting like that.
All I said is if someone did that to you at the park, you would have been real pissed off at him.
I might have swung, but I don't know.
If a 5'6" dude did that to you when you were trying to rebound a free throw, you would have been pretty pissed off. That's all I said.
Potentially. Yeah, but I mean, it's been like seeing him out there fighting too. Like I've been approaching it a little different. I'm just really I've been approaching these games. Even if they didn't have it and they didn't pull that win out, I don't think I'd have been too sick. I'm just really like, it was just really good to see AD fighting. And like, I'm here just to appreciate Bron, honestly, at this point. Like, dude, when you look at
me, you're trying to sneak in the back door at Staples this weekend.
You feel me? Because I just want to see my dude. Sure. I just want to I want to see a god in purple and gold. You feel me? That's what the fuck time it is right now.
Let's talk about the other 1-1 series. The Nuggets kind of came back and put it down on the Blazers 128-109. Joker with 38, 8, and 5 inspired John to summarily dismiss anyone who was bothering with the steps to MVP or
Why are we lying at this point about MVP? I mean, I know you have to submit more than one person, but like let's not actually talk about these other people. It's pointless at this point. You know what I mean? Joker's a fucking MVP. Cancel it. That shit is dead. But I will say this. Damian Lillard dropping 30 and still being down 12 at half. That's the most life-ass, I don't give a fuck about your dreams ass shit I've seen in a long time, dog. You know what I mean?
That's what Dame signed up for, though, man. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a Portland lifer. I strongly doubt he ever leaves Portland. But I don't know, bro. He had that tweet out that he ain't running from the grind. You might need to run from the grind if you want to ring, bro. At least jog from the grind, speedwalk from the grind. right, bro. Because I don't think it's gonna happen in Portland, bro. I don't, man.
Ain't no thinking about it. It ain't gonna happen in Portland.
With the exception of the NFL, if you're a professional athlete, you can choose between loyalty or winning a championship, unless you're in one of the 3 or 4 really big, consistently successful markets. You know what I mean? It's just, who are they drawing to Portland? They're going to convince that. I mean, but who are they going to convince to come to Portland to flip the dynamic? You know what I mean? Like, he chose the grind, and I love him and respect him for it. But it's exactly what you say. He signed up for dropping 30, being down by 12 at halftime. Like,
he didn't
because the Nuggets can score
grind.
125 to 130 every game against those dudes, bro. The games, the rest of the series might just go that way.
But he didn't choose the grind. He chose like to try to run at a brick wall. You know what I mean? Like he chose impossible. It's a grind to win unless you're like the 2007, 2018 Warriors.
Right.
You know what I mean? When KD ran from the grind. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But choosing to have better players on your team to have a fucking chance to win is not running from the grind. It's going to be a grind regardless. You're just not choosing to do the impossible. What Dame has done is virtually choosing to do the impossible. Like you said, who's going to Portland? Nobody's running to fucking Portland to fucking play basketball.
He's got to hope for a Mavs championship.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Where it just everything lines up right.
Yep. Or get a Bron off the fucking, you know what I mean? Draft a Bron or some shit.
But as long as he's there, they're never going to be able to draft a Bron.
You feel me? Yeah. Because
you know, I mean, like
40 a game. You feel me? Yeah.
I don't know. We all love him. I mean, I hope it's a series. What do you think? Do you think the Blazers are going to bounce back in Portland, or you think the Nuggets are kind of like, all right, bro?
Yeah, I think the Nuggets are. I think they're going to wrap this up in 6, probably. So
yeah, the Nuggets probably pressed the button. You know what I mean?
It had that feeling. Game 2 had that feeling of the like, all right, cool, good for you.
Right.
yeah. That was like all right, cool. Denver is the better team in this series game.
Right. Yeah, they proved that. Yeah. But what is Dame really going to do though? Because like you said, Mike, like you know, they're just good enough not to be in the lottery. You know what I mean?
They'll never they'll never be in contention for that pick.
Right. You know what I mean? So like.
He's got to hope. He's got to hope that like a Ja or someone of that kind of a mentality that the franchise fucks him over. You know what I mean? And they're like, I want to team up with another dog. Like, you know, like he's got to hope for that, or an injury riddled postseason for everyone else. You know, with that Mavs type shit where he goes 90 and 90 from the fucking free throw line. You know what I mean?
They got so many of the same player though. You know what I mean? Like McCollum is like not as good as, you know, he's good, but he's not as good as Dame. And then Norman Powell is good, but not as good as, you know, as McCollum. Like, you know, like they need probably like a Draymond to come out there and kind of switch some shit up. And yeah, I think I don't know, defensively, because they can't stop a fucking.
They do need
Mike,
someone
you can go
to
out
play
there and
defense.
get probably 6 points a game if you played the Portland Trailblazers every day.
Just stop
you know
putbacks where I wasn't boxed out.
Couple putbacks, maybe 0 for 3, maybe you'll get 7 points a game. You know what I mean?
Hey, those J. Cole putbacks where I had to kick my legs out when I'm in midair.
Hey, they talking what? Hey, Mike, Tom, you said they talking about J. Cole out there? Saying he's disrespecting the game?
Yeah. Someone said, you know, it's disrespectful for this guy who basically bought his way into this league, and, you know, versus guys who busted their ass to get here, and he's getting all the publicity. And I get that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, bro, it's basketball, man. Go out there, get that ISO, and go bust J. Cole's ass if you really got a vendetta against him, right? Right? If you want to make an example of him, you absolutely can, because that motherfucker, that defense look wobbly as fuck. You can put that motherfucker on a summer jam scheme and you get him on an island, bro. The opportunity is right there.
Hey, give him that fucking attention. Give him that attention. You know what I mean? On the other side of it, though, if you crossing his ass up, he gonna go viral too. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, do that shit. Yeah, but I think that's so funny that niggas is mad. Like, just like you said, just cook his ass. Just cook that nigga. That is free food right there, bro.
I get it,
bank every time he guards you.
I get it though, because it's difficult for us as sports fans in America to understand how different the dynamic is. Think about this. What percentage of the movies that you watch originated in this country? 99% of the movies you watch, right?
Yeah, okay.
If you live in another country, it's the same thing. Almost everything, like American movies dominate everything. American sports dominates everything. So you grew up in Rwanda, or you grew up in that region of Africa, that's your league. You know what I mean? And then here comes this motherfucker from America who would never sniff the fucking league in America.
He went to Rwanda, dog.
And he came to Rwanda.
That's disrespect to the whole ass country. Low key, though.
I said
has he
that
ever
when we
even
talked
been to
about it.
Rwanda outside of hooping? This nigga was like, this is where I'm gonna go. Rwanda. I know they ain't got no niggas there. They ain't got no hoopers there. I can make the squad there, nigga. What the fuck? That is so disrespectful. I see why that nigga said that. But like you said, Tyler, he need to cook that man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you also have to accept,
do him.
You also have to accept that, like, you know, I still don't know what the name of the Rwandan basketball league is, but in 8 years, if something cool happens in that league, one of you guys will say, you remember the league that J. Cole played in? Like, that will be, this is still the biggest thing that ever happened. I understand why the league and he did it, but it's good that those players had a chip on their shoulder. I hope they did bust his ass. The last thing I want to say about Nuggets Blazers before we move on is that I always think of series like this as the Big Brother, Little Brother series. My little brother was 5 years younger than me, and I was a pretty nice big brother. I didn't beat him up. I didn't enjoy whooping his ass like constantly. Like I wanted to make a game-winning shot when we played one-on-one or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes you let your little brother, you're a little too nice, and he steals a game or whatever, and then you'd never lose again after that for the rest of the day. So it feels a little like that to me, where you just felt the whole game too, like Denver was like, okay.
You were a much better big brother than I was, bro. Because I didn't let my siblings beat me and shit. You know, my sister, like my stepdad.
Very rarely was it a loss. Okay, it was just, but it's like the blue shell in Mario Kart. You know what I mean? Right. I want to be able to thump my chest and not feel like this is boring, just beating up on a little kid. You know what I mean?
Bro, my sister, they offered my sister my favorite basketball player ever. My stepdad offered her $100 if she ever beat me. And she would have split that shit with me. And I'm like, fuck that money. You're never beating me in shit. That $100, $50 back then, like 7,
you
8
hustle
grade,
backwards,
high school,
bro. That's 2 months allowance,
bro. Like and they lied about, okay, we're gonna give you allowance, nigga. I did shit for 4-5 months. We never got paid shit, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? So we got you next month, nigga. Please, dog. But no, bro. I was just like, nah, G. And I can still say she ain't ever beat me. None of them niggas could beat me in basketball, bro. It wasn't happening. Even my little brother cooked his ass when he got older, still couldn't fuck with me. I'm like, I can't have it. Okay? And then when my knee fucked up, it was just like, never playing again. So you missed your opportunity.
Yeah, the minute Vincent goes through puberty, for sure, I'm like, let's get one last game in, and then I'm retiring undefeated.
Dog his ass and like, hey, you had your chance, my nigga.
The doctor says I can't play basketball anymore, bro. You want me to still be alive when you graduate high school? You know?
Hey, he gonna be a dude, bro. That dude, he gonna be, yeah. He gonna be cooking your ass. You might have to do this around 8th grade. Once you get to high school, it's over with for you, bro. You cancel, dog.
Let's
boom
about
your ass in 9th grade, dog. We gonna see your ass on fucking Twitter going viral. Damn, Mike, you let me do you like that?
Yeah, I might need to hit the EMP.
TikTok, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I might need to take the family plan off if that happens. Oh, did you dunked on me, but there's no data for you to upload it? What happened?
How unfortunate.
Let's talk about Wizards, Sixers. Specifically, you know, I think this series it's about what we expected. The Sixers won game 2, 120-95, two wins for them. They're up 2-0. But Russell Westbrook got popcorn dumped on him by a Sixers fan, by a Philly fan, I should say, because it's a Philly fan fucking thing to do, as he's walking off the court to go back to the locker room for treatment. Shouldn't you just like have to answer physically for doing that?
Tyler has the best take.
Tyler, explain what you would do if you were king of the NBA.
Right. Like, you know, like I've discussed before, like, bro, there should be like a review committee in these situations where a player can state their case to the ref, right? And the ref can either approve or reject their request to go beat the shit out of a fan for crossing the line like that. And I definitely think the ref would have definitely approved this. Like, if this would have been a 4-0, you know, fucking vote right there with all the refs. And yeah, because of that shit, bro, fans get away with too much shit. Way too much shit. Because, you know, like, if this was
especially
real,
in basketball.
Yeah, especially in basketball, right? Because there's the proximity there. They're so close to the players. And if this was like in real life and you saw two grown men standing toe to toe, and you saw another grown man dump popcorn on top of that grown man's hand, you would know violence is on the way. And the dude who dumped that popcorn knew that if he wasn't in a safe place, that Russ would have beat the shit out of him. It was a cowardly thing to do. And I wish
if there'd have been one less security guard with him, he might have got up there.
Yeah, Russ
that was 4 dudes that like barely holding him back.
And he was on some like, please let me go. And that's the nigga that you don't want to be in a fight with.
You can say, like, please let me go.
Please just let me go. Like begging you. Let me get my issue. I need that. I mean, that's disrespectful as hell. I mean, it's not getting spat on, but it's close to it. You know what I mean? Like somebody just dumping food on your ass. Like that's just some, to me, that's like it's some inhumane, disrespectful shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's that. I don't. If I'm the fucking security guard, I'm letting that motherfucker go on some oop shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. On some bad.
Got away from me. Sorry.
You know what I mean? That mother. I'm only 5'11". That motherfucking 6'4". Fuck you want me to do? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, you gotta be able to shoot the fair when somebody throw food on you, regardless of the circumstances. I think that's like an understood rule. You know what I mean? Universal. Like if you're on fucking Andromeda, they would, you know what I'm saying? They'd be like, yeah, I would have whooped that nigga ass too. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn.
Alien life forms come to the earth in an unrecognizable form, but they know.
Right.
if you dump popcorn on their head, they're allowed to punch you.
Right.
I would like to think that Tyler's hypothetical review committee would take less time to decide Russ had the right to punch that dude than it does to review your average flagrant one. Like, that's a real quick. Like, I don't need the slow-mo.
Hey, can I say something? Is the league getting really weird with this shit? Like, is it starting to get like? I know, like with the dick kick of they had to cost.
You talking about Anthony?
Right?
You talking about Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis, right?
Crowder,
but like, dude, that's incidental. I mean, bro, if you were playing basketball and a dude jumped back and hit a shot and kicked you in your dick accidentally, are you calling a foul as a defender? I'm not even calling that in a rec game. I'm like, I'm going to roll a little bit, you know what I'm saying? They might have to check the ball a bit. I'm not calling like, they're calling flagrants on incidental contact. I mean, there's nothing flagrant about what happened. It's starting to get real weird, man.
They called in the Grizzlies Jazz game, they called someone went up for a dunk and caught the defender in the face with their offhand, and they called it a flagrant foul.
Valanciunas.
Yeah.
I'm like, they call that. I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know. Yeah,
they caught hit Rudy Gogurt in the fucking face.
Yeah,
he's Gogurt.
The ref's got to stick up for Mr. Gogurt, bro.
Right? I'm like, they caught a foul there.
The ref said that's Dannon's whole franchise right there, bro.
Can't fuck up this Yo Play money.
Yo Play has nothing without this man.
Man, do you know how much money you think them Yo Play niggas got? From yogurt, nigga.
Yeah.
Yogurt making money in the wildest ways, bro. Shit.
Yogurt is like a snack that is sneakily like ubiquitous, like every fucking where. Right? Like when you were a kid, there were kids bringing yogurt to school. Your teachers were eating yogurt. Yogurt is everywhere on the low, bro.
Black, white, it didn't matter, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We all fuck with that Gogurt, nigga. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yogurt was the original Snoop Dogg. You know, I mean, just cross-cultural, cross-age appeal. Right. Absolutely. You eat some yogurt with your grandma.
There's big money in yogurt. Shit.
I agree with you, though, John. I it's a pretty widely held opinion, I think, but I wish we could skip through all the fucking. It's so excessive.
It slows it down, and it's so boring. It just seems
and
like
it sucks the energy out of the gym, and I don't know. To me, it's really over the top. It feels like this year there's been more of it. I don't know. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know who it appeals to.
I mean, I know I get getting things right in like, especially in the big minutes. But like incidental contact, like an offhand while dunking, there was nothing flagrant or weird. Like I don't think that was even a foul. You know what I mean? It's just it's basketball. It's a contact sport, and you know I'm not the dude that's like these niggas pussy. You know what I mean? I'm not. These Mickey Feekies are puss. I'm not that dude. Monkey feces. I'm not that nigga. You know what I'm saying? But like, yo, I'm just like, dog, really? You know?
Tyler, what do you think?
I don't know. It feels like they're overcompensating, but in the wrong ways, right? Like it feels like, where they feel the heat coming down on them on how they fuck calls up all the time. And it's like, now they're just trying to, blow up this incidental shit. And it just, I just don't understand NBA refereeing. And I feel like you're going to drive yourself fucking insane if you try to. So that's one of those battles I just don't fight.
I do want to say there was one other really interesting point about officiating that Kenny Smith made on TNT, I think Tuesday night, talking about the Clippers-Mavs series. And he said, we were just talking about the same thing about how at some point I know switching is the name of the game. I understand why that's the case. But he made the point that Kawhi and PG, and he's right about this, they can get away with more on Luka because they are players of the same stature as he is. So defending him, they can be more physical. They can do more. And the refs are going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they have reputations as being elite defenders and because they're a name as big as Luka. And he made the point. I think he's absolutely right. They're leaving Pat Bev out there to die. And they know that Luka's going to get every call on him too because it's Pat Bev. He does not get the benefit of the doubt from the fucking refs, bro. But it was one of those points he made. It was such a good point that they had to like kind of cut away from it real quick because you're not allowed to talk about shit like that on national TV.
Is Kawhi the same defender he once was though?
He's still he's still an all defensive player. I think he makes an all defensive team.
But it's just about reputation. But I mean, it's just purely about the name.
Oh, anyway, no, I completely understand. Yeah. I completely understand the point. I'm wondering though.
But he is not a defensive player of the year candidate anymore, but he is an all defensive player.
But is Luka really gonna have the problems we think Kawhi would give him these days? You know what I mean? Just because it's Kawhi, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like it's gonna be they might need the
he's not running around Kawhi. He's not running around Kawhi, and he's running around Pat Bev. I mean,
he's running through Pat Bev.
Yeah, he's putting that shoulder in that motherfucker's chest.
Pat Bev doesn't exist. Pat Bev is hanging on to the nigga.
That's why he's got no answer for him, though. It's because if he also comes around any kind of a screen and catches a quarter inch past him, he's by him too. So I mean, it's like you're smaller and slower than this dude. I don't care what fucking sport it is. That's not leaving you with a lot of good options.
Once you get that shoulder by, it's a wrap. Get that shoulder in front of him, it's over with. You foul you or it's a bucket, one of the two.
Speaking of once you get by, the shoulder by is a wrap. I think Bucks Heat. I think we're about ready to sim to the end. 132 to 98. Are we tapping out on this one? What do we think? That Bucks sweeping, gentlemen sweep. What do you think, Tyler?
It might be a sweep. I think that the Bucks got another ass whooping that they're going to give Miami tonight. There was a part of me that was like, hey, you never know. Miami might pull something out their ass again like they did last postseason, but that ain't happening this year. Nah.
They bullied the boys. They were like, that's the big brother, little brother shit too. Mm-hmm. It looked like that. The first game was cute, but you know what I'm saying? Too close. Now we going to just do y'all ass. And Giannis looked like Giannis for the first time against the Heat in 2 fucking series. You know what I mean?
Am I correct in thinking that the Heat could currently be playing with James Harden on the floor, but they were too attached to Tyler Hero?
That's what the reports and sources were saying. What the fuck? What the fuck?
There's no excuse. There's just zero. There's zero excuse. Oops. Zero reason that should make.
And there was so many Heat fans like, no, I don't want to give up our future for Harden. Harden's like 31 and Tyler Hero's 20 years old, 21 years old. And I was like, motherfucker, it's Harden and Hero, bro. Like, dog, you can get a ring with Harden on your team. Hero, that shit ain't happening, bro.
Do you remember how many Lakers fans didn't want to give up Brandon Ingram for Anthony Davis, bro? People just get attached to their fan. They call them fan favorites for a reason, bro.
The young core.
If you throw Kuz in there, it's a no.
Give up the young core.
Carl Kuzma is staying here in LA. You know what I mean? Like,
Lonzo Ball's gonna retire a Laker.
Low key though, I was one of them.
Why?
I know you were.
Not for real, but low key though. Like I would have been mad. I'm like, yo, can we keep Kyle though? Can we keep my nigga Kyle? You know what I mean?
I just don't understand young core people, because in the history of the NBA, you don't win championships with young cores. You win championships with two or more stars,
two superstars.
Two or more superstars and a roster of savvy, cheap veterans. That's how you win fucking championships, not with with 21 and 22-year-olds.
They're thinking of the NFL. NFL, you want a quarterback on the rookie deal. You want the third year of the rookie deal for the quarter. That's not how this shit works in the NBA. You want Braun. You want the guy that everyone's sick of watching. You want the guy that casuals are like, ugh, Braun in the finals again.
right.
That's the guy. Yeah. They're sick of him for a reason, because he's always in the finals.
Brandon Ingram, as good as he is, and Carl Kuzma are not going to decide your fate when it comes to the, you know what I mean? The NBA finals, bro.
That's not how that shit stacked up.
Fuck them kids, as they say.
Last series, we haven't talked about. Nets up 2-0 on the Celtics, 130-108 in game 2. I think exactly the same as the last one. Yeah. I was hopeful that there would be a little bit more gas in this series, bro. Like, Jersey / New York and Boston, historic franchise upstarts. It's just,
I think we all knew the Nets were going to beat the shit out of the Celtics here, probably sweep them. But I think a lot of us were looking forward to, hey, let's see how this big three gels in the postseason. And they've been great, but it does nothing for me, honestly, right now. You know, but next series, that's what I'm saying. Next series, Nets Bucks, that's going to be a motherfucker.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That we'll actually see if it's true or if the Celtics are really just that bad. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's not going to be fun.
Okay, before we wrap up, John wanted to talk about, he saw a story, and I don't have all the details handy, so pardon me if I butcher it, but John saw a story on the World Wide Web today about a billionaire.
Instagram.
On the Instagram corner of the World Wide Web, about a billionaire who's worth $44 billion, who is stepping away. He cashed out. He liquidated the shit. He's like, what was this quote, John? He just,
I think he owns TikTok. I think he owns TikTok. He sold the shit and he said, I just want to, read and daydream. And like, this is like, okay, you look at Amazon, they're making money in every way possible, right? And they keep making money and they're coming up with all these fucking ideas to make more money and all that shit. And all that's cool, bro. You know what I mean? Whatever. But if you could give me 2-3 mil. And I like the dream. Like motherfuckers be like, what happened to that nigga? He fell off. I can't wait to fall off, bro. Nigga, I want to get paid and give me a bag. Give me one big one. And I'm going to fall the fuck off so hard and so happily. And so like this motherfucker got all this money and said, I'm going to just read and daydream. I'll probably be active as shit, do my own thing, but I will not work. I don't understand how rich people are rich as fuck and want to work more. That is the worst thing to do when you're fucking rich. And he's like, I'm going to just basically he said, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do every day. And I get that. But I think that's beautiful for a motherfucker to have that brain, to be that genius and genius enough to see, hey, I'm cashing out. It's time to not do shit I don't want to ever do ever again, bro.
Because most people who have it in them to acquire that much money don't have that switch.
Right.
And I would say I don't have it in me to make that much money. But right around this time every year, I'm a sports writer and I get basically the summers off with the school year effectively. My wife's a teacher, so we get the summers off. Right around this time every year, I start thinking, I'm not going to do anything from the middle of June to the middle of August. And I usually make it about like 3 days, bro. And then I start being like, I just start thinking of big projects. Like, I want to start working on this. Okay, I start thinking of book ideas like right a fucking way, which I don't want to do as too much work, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if you gave me 44 bill. I don't know that I could do it. I don't know that I could do it for more than like a month, bro.
But this is the thing though. You're not doing anything. I'm going to still create. I'm going to still draw. I'm gonna still
whatever the fuck you want.
Right. I'm gonna
Whenever
still
the fuck you
travel.
want.
Exactly. I'm gonna still travel. I'm gonna still work out. I'm gonna play golf. I'm just
But so you know me, like I don't work for anyone.
Again. I'm
so
not doing
me,
shit
like,
for a paycheck, nigga.
I don't work for anyone. So what stresses me out is writing and trying to get, like, my stress comes from that creative part. So that to me is
Just
what
write,
you're describing
bro.
is just as
write
stressful.
every day.
But then that's not. But it's not.
Bro, you
it's
like
the pain of making it good. That's you know what I mean?
This motherfucker is a fucking. You need that pressure on you. You're that nigga, dog. You know what I mean? You're like.
If I'm just writing to write,
it's beautiful.
That was 8th grade, bro. That was 8th grade. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you this.
I write for an audience now. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Well, but for people too, for an audience, you know.
But dude, I think like with all the shit that I was doing prior to actually getting paid to do creative shit, I did because I loved it. I literally thought I was not going to get paid. I did not see how the fuck we'd ever have this situation now on the Volume podcast. You know what I mean? Podcast network. I didn't think we
subscribe to the YouTube for video episodes of the podcast. YouTube.com/The Volume.
I didn't think that. I didn't think I'd be fucking interviewing like Chuck and shit, like laughing with that nigga. I just created because I wanted to fucking create. So like, I'll just go back to that. Shirtless as fuck, fucking hot as shit in some fucking tropical space, painting and fucking doing pull-ups on tree branches and shit, going for runs with my fucking boxer briefs on and running shoes and that's it, nigga. Eating fucking mango, nigga. Fuck everything. Being high as shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tyler, am I tripping?
No, that shit sounds perfect.
Nigga.
That sounds like that is the dream, is just getting enough money to where you can comfortably do whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want. Like, I read that dude's quote. I was like, this dude is like the human Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes if he was an adult. Like, this motherfucker's like, bro, I'm just going to read and pretend I'm Spaceman Spiff for like the rest of my life. I was like, God, this motherfucker's a legend.
That shit's fire, bro. Like, the fall off is the goal. The goal is to get enough money to afford to fall off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the goal. And me and Tyler said a long time ago too. We'd be out at like South by and shit, and we're having fun, and we wouldn't even fucking pick up our phone to tweet. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we're just doing what we want every day, I will probably forget about all that shit. You know, I'm not going to pick up. What's going on? You know? You said what, Tyler? Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like a lot of young people, like a lot of Gen Zers, they are tapped into social media to like log their moves and to document their life. I'm on social media when I'm bored. You know what I'm saying? When I'm out here doing shit and living and having fun, I don't go on that motherfucking that hellhole called Twitter. Right? I hop on Twitter like during the workday when I'm fucking answering emails and bored and shit. Right? Like, yeah.
I just get bored. I would just get bored doing whatever I wanted. And I know that because it happens to me every year about June 25th.
Bro, you hooked to the stress, bro. You hooked to the stress, and that's a dangerous place to be, Mike.
You're running to the grind.
Don't do it. Right? We see what it gets you. Down 12, put up 30, down 12 and a half. You know what I mean? Run away, Mike. Back away from the grind. Back away.
Oh, this is better than therapy. All right, thanks for tapping in with us. I'm so happy we got to break down every series. We got to see 2 full games. It's just like the timing worked out. We will be back. Hope everyone has a great Memorial Day weekend. We will be back. As far as I know, we'll be back on Monday with the regular episode. So stay tuned. Like, subscribe, 5 stars. YouTube.com/The Volume. Buy all the shit that was talked about in the ads throughout this show that I might have talked about or someone else might have talked about. And we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.